Recently, I started reading a manga called Vagabond, written by Inoue Takehiko, a story about a famous Japanese swordsman, Miyamoto Musashi, who appears in a lot of media forms and some games as well. Well, it might be a little cringy, but after watching some combat scenes, I felt the strong urge to perform some of those fights myself. But as a sane man, I ain't going to go outside and hit people with a stick. I mean, I do have a fake sword, but anyway. As a person who lives with no life outside of games, the first game I thought was Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. It's a game from a small little company from somewhere. Yeah, anyways. It's a game about a ninja trying to help your lord/master, who is a little kid who has been cursed with immortality, which makes people around him go sick. But trying to save him, you get stabbed in the back, so he gives you the ability to come back from the dead, but only once, unless you use a tiny baby rock type shit, you know. Anyways, that's not important. What's important is Sekiro's combat. The game asks you for perfect time parrying and highly skilled pattern memorization, so you can strike the enemy's weakness at the exact moment they drop their guard down, making an opening window. What I'm saying is, this is the closest you're going to get to a real life feeling of what a samurai duel feels like. The precision of dodging and striking makes you feel like you're really having a sword duel. That doesn't mean I'm calling this realistic as games like Ghost of Yotei, because Sekiro isn't a samurai simulator. It's a ninja who can use crazy ass techniques and has a lot of item variety. Anyway, playing Sekiro and reading Vagabond simultaneously, I realized that there are a variety of similarities and answers of how to become one with the sword. When playing Souls games, a lot of people, including me, get very angry for a lot of different reasons. Everybody who has played these types of games have experienced the emotions of and every time I hit a roadblock, I'm like, do I have to go level up or get a better sword? Did I not upgrade my armor enough? But in Sekiro, you don't have to worry about any of that. Sekiro's combat is more simpler than any Dark Souls game, and Bloodborne, Elden Ring, because in Sekiro we don't have a box stick, or saw cleavers, or stupid weapons that make you overpowered as shit, so the developers have to make the bosses just fucking impossible for the DLC. But I mean, I wish Sekiro would have any kind of DLC. Anyways, in Sekiro we have you and your sword. One thing I've learned from playing these games, the more angry and pissed off about a boss fight or an area, I get worse and worse, and need to take a break. When reading Vagabond, our main character Musashi is also a man with a bit of a temper. He was obsessed about becoming the greatest motherfucker under the sun, that when he met a stronger opponent called Inshun, this psychopathic monk man, he was engulfed by anger and fear, like what we feel when trying a new boss in Sekiro for the first time. Do you remember? My name is After beating him in a couple of tries and feeling like you're the man, and getting a little cocky. You heard this game was hard, but this first main boss is a total wuss. Then the next boss is the guy who cut off your hand? Yeah, sure, why not? Come at me, bitch. Genichiro is basically Sekiro's mentor who teaches you what this game is, and that it's not for the weak. If you do not know how to parry at the exact time and dodge, dash forward for a Makiri counter, fall back to drink your Kool-Aid, but not too close, because enemies in this game read your inputs. And as soon as you start sipping that shit, some big bonk is going to be over your head. Finally, the cherry on top of the banana sundae is the lightning deflection. My God! Woo! I remember being angry that this motherfucker has 3 phases and I have like 3 healing items with 1.5 HP, even including resurrect. At the time, I was so annoyed at the fact he attacks me like 20 times before I can hit him like twice. Yeah, now I can beat him without getting hit once. But at the time, I didn't know how to do that. I was learning his attack patterns by examining his moves and how he reacts to my moves. The really fun part is from some point, you start to see the patterns clearer. The first time you attempt the boss, it feels like they're so fast and have no opening window. But at some point, it starts to click. When Musashi first met Seijiro when he arrived in Kyoto, he couldn't see his movements, but after he comes back for a second time, he starts to see Seijiro's movements and attacks more clear. He's still the same man with the same sword, still has the same scar that he left on him. He did pick up a couple tricks in here and there, but in the end, he has overcame anger and fear, and has become better. What I'm saying is, don't get angry, it's just skill issue. Really though, if you want to be good at the game, you need to get good. It takes time, and the way I feel it is you need to get used to the bosses. The reason you want to get used to the boss is in order to get calm and relaxed while fighting it. Some people are better at the game when they're raging and have adrenaline pumping, energy drinks flowing down their veins. But for me, I found out that I perform better when I'm at ease and relaxed. I think everybody when first fighting a new boss, or getting to a last phase of the set boss, or gets close to making a full posture bar, we all get kinda nervous. There are a lot of symptoms that appear at this state. Some people get super hyped and start swearing at the TV. For me, my hands start getting sweaty a lot and start to go into sicko mode. Just looking at that little bit of room left on that almost full bar. Then I lose focus. The thought of finally beating this motherfucker gets to me during the battle, and I slip, mess up, and fall.
Hesitation is defeat. I told you that, didn't I?
I know, I have to stay calm during the fight, but as a human, my emotions win against me sometimes. This is also brilliantly illustrated in Vagabond. After Musashi runs away from the fight with Inshin, he stays in the mountains, getting mental training from Inshin's teacher. After the training and preparing for the battle, Musashi was calm and okay, he was ready for death. But when Inshin's teacher asked him if he were to lose, where should they put his body? He got shook, he got scared of death, he got scared of fighting Inshin again. Then suddenly a spider came down from its web, which made Musashi look up into the night sky. I think that made him think that looking down from the sky, Inshin and him were just both a speck and just the same human beings. Then he just let everything go. No anger, hatred, or other emotions, and went into the fight again. I do know that I must be calm, but we as human beings forget sometimes, even if we realized it before. It's not like in a game, once we unlocked a new skill or a special attack, we never forget it, and can use it at any time. We have to constantly make the effort to not lose our center. Other than that, there are a lot of small similarities that I noticed along the way of reading the manga and trying to platinum Sekiro. Just some little shit, like how the sculptor at the dilapidated temple carved statues of the Buddha. There's actually a line where he says, "No matter what I do, any Buddha I carve is an incarnation of wrath. Thus is the fate of those who a deep karmic death. You'll understand when you try carving one for yourself one day." Now this is interesting in two different ways. One, which is Musashi, after killing 70 men of the Yoshioka, he was stuck in a room carving these statues of a demon. Which of that is his inner self? I don't know if it's just me, but I think I've heard that somewhere. Jeez. But to be fair, Musashi has been making sculptures since he was a kid, so... Anyway, that in one of the endings of Sekiro actually lets you see the wolf carving sculptures. Talking about endings, in Sekiro there are 4 endings in total. One ending where the wolf turns into a Shura, which is basically a bloodthirsty slayer that doesn't know why he kills anymore and just hunts for the fuck of it. Now that's the bad ending. There's one ending where Kuro dies in order to stop other people from trying to use the immortality he has. It turns Wolf into a retired shinobi and basically becomes the second sculptor, and Emma hints that there might be a Sekiro 2? Another ending is an ending where the wolf takes the immortality from Kuro using a blossom tree branch that his father, the owl, took in the past. So he time warps into the past, this time the real past, not the one the owl made of an illusion, to kill his father for a second time. Now that I'm saying it out loud, that doesn't make a lot of sense. The last one is an ending that I don't really understand fully, but I'll try to explain. It's what most people think is the true ending of Sekiro. Let me sum this up for you again. You ask a little girl to give you rice until she gets sick, and then you make her eat 2 different snake organs from different snakes, which make her go blind and her tears cold as ice. It turns her into a vessel for your lord to go inside and sleep for a long time while you go on a field trip. Now, that's fucking messed up. Sekiro was a game that I didn't really like at first. The controls were hard to get used to, and it took me like 10 attempts to beat the chained ogre, which got me pissed off and made me take a long break from the game. I don't exactly remember why I got into Sekiro again, but this time I loved it. I beat the game and moved on to other things, but this time, Vagabond made me come back, and even though I stressed out finding the last prayer bead because I wasn't keeping track of it, and even though I almost rage quit while level farming to get all the abilities, also beating the game 4 times because I ain't no fucking billionaire who can afford PlayStation Plus. Even then, this game is worth playing and platinuming for the combat alone. So many memorable fights. The famous quote, "Hesitation is defeat," is a quote that truly speaks for the entire game. And as for Vagabond, I just wanted to read this manga because of the artwork, and it surprised me that in a samurai story with not only good fights but also a compelling story about a man figuring out what the meaning of the sword is, all the while containing the attitude we should be facing life with. The growth of Musashi is also the growth of the author and the reader. I highly recommend Sekiro and Vagabond, as there is a lot of stuff I left out of the video in both of them. If you haven't played or read these two, give them a try. They might become one of your favorites.